So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. Getting ready for some dinner here. This afternoon, Levi and I, we sawed some stickers on the mill. This morning we were working on the pond. And I got to get that pond finished up by tomorrow afternoon. There's a bunch of rains coming on Friday. All right, just put the sear ring on. That's about perfect right there. I started this fire in the Brio about an hour ago. All oak. You let it burn down. You got all those nice hot coals in there. This will be ready to cook on in about 10 minutes. Maybe 9 minutes. All right, let's see where we're at. 381. 375. A few more minutes. Just about ready. This is incredible. It really is. All right, just got back up here to the wood yard, but I've got to say something here. This power rake, although I don't use it all the time, I don't need it all the time, I think it's my favorite attachment. I do. Do you know how much raking I would have had to do down there? I put that stuff on the pond, on the breastwork there, probably 9 o'clock this morning, and it was real wet. And I was going to wait until tomorrow, hoping that it would dry up some, and then hit it with the power rake. And I thought, you know what? We just had a nice steak dinner, had about an hour and a half before dark, so I hopped on the mini skid. And it was still wet, but it made it look like a putting green. I mean, right now it's 8:13. I had dinner at 7:30, came down here, hooked up the power rake, went all the way down to the pond, and made that thing look like a putting green in like 20 minutes. It's phenomenal. I don't know if I mentioned, this is the Virnig. It's the V20 series power rake, and the learning curve on it isn't very steep at all. It doesn't take long to get on it. So if you're putting in a yard or something like that, you just need to rent one and be done with it. You know, you would spend hours raking that down there and it wouldn't look near as good as it does. It breaks up all those clumps. It gets rid of all the sticks and the debris. Fantastic. Now, first thing tomorrow morning, I'll get some seed. We got a bunch of straw today. We'll go down there and seed it all, mulch it all, a little bit of dress up with the excavator, and it'll be done. This is one of those projects where you just get to a point and you have to call it good, you know? Because you could keep tinkering around here and cleaning things up farther away from the pond, but I think it looks pretty good. And I know it'll hold water, and I'm not worried about if it rains again. So that was the goal. Now, the drain pipe is over in that corner. 12-inch pipe, runs straight through the breastwork, and it outlets right here into this rock line ditch. At the end of that ditch right there, there's a little stream that comes down from up that way, and then there's an 18-inch pipe that crosses this road down here, and it's clear, it's open. I was able to get down there and look through it. I think this should handle it. Now, I was going to put like some fabric underneath the stone, but I thought better of it. And the reason is this. Say this fall, you know, you get a couple years, you're going to have leaves and debris caught up in that rock. And I wanted the rock to slow it down. But if this ever needs cleaned out, it'll be easier to clean out without that fabric in there. You know what I mean? I can come down here with that tilt bucket on the excavator, clean it all out, even salvage the rock with the firewood bucket and put it right back in. If that fabric's underneath of it, it's just a mess, you know? And besides, next year at this time, there's going to be weeds everywhere. You know, you probably will have trouble seeing that rock line ditch. Now, right now, the water level is about a foot below the inlet, maybe even 14 inches. So this is going to come up quite a bit once we get some rain. I think it's been 6 days since we had rain. And I think it should work out pretty good. Now, the drain pipe is just kind of a, you know, that got me out of trouble. Long term, I have been looking at the idea of a spillway. Now, a spillway would be great because when all the leaves fall, they float for a while, you know, then you get a heavy rain and it would kind of keep the pond clean. The leaves would flow across the spillway. What I'm thinking is like a concrete spillway with a little lip that I could put like some, say, 2.5-inch white oak planks across. So you'd have a channel underneath of it, come out here somewhere, and then drop straight down about 2 feet. You'd have a little waterfall and another little spillway to go underneath the road. Once again, with the big white oak planks. It's kind of what I have in my head. I don't know when I'll do that. It's all going to kind of depend on how well that drain pipe works over there. But I think that would be nice because just like a rock spillway, it's going to get clogged up too. And plus, you got to cross this road. So it would have to be, I don't know, it's only 30 feet from here to the water over there. So come over, step down, a little waterfall, another spillway right here with some nice white oak, like 2.5-inch thick, big, massive planks locked into place. I thought of that last night. But anyway, I'll try to give you a before and after. This is what this thing looked like about a week ago. Now here we are. Much better. I think we are 1 or 2 heavy rainfalls away from losing the whole pond. Check out the rock line ditch here. And there you have it. On a side note, all the work I did down here with the excavator, I didn't even use a half tank of fuel. Now the skid loader, it's a fuel hog. It is. I used about 3/4 of a tank. All in down here, I've got right at about $1,000 into this repair. Now that's obviously just material costs. That doesn't include equipment costs and labor, but it does include fuel. I had about $400 in stone, $450 in pipe, seed, yeah, probably a little under 1,000. Fuel, didn't use a whole lot of fuel, under $1,000. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.